Have you ever met the connector? Well, he ponders, he helps, he creates, he writes, he speaks. He basically connects people and brings them together. I speak about Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group. At psandallmarketinggroup.com, you will receive an assembled group of Paul's contacts and connections that cross into many sectors of life. Please contact Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com if you are in the market for a wide array of services. Again, please contact The Connector, Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com with any questions. And now, here's Paul Solano, the host of Paul Ponders.
Welcome to Paul Ponders. My name is Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com. Thank you for joining me for my foray into podcasting. It is great to be collaborating with my friend and associate Chalonzo Amos of PodPro Entertainment to bring you some fun, exciting, and informative podcasts. For many years, I've been referred to as the Connector, or in Greater Boston circles as the Connector. With psandallmarketinggroup.com, I've created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please sit back and relax and listen to today's podcast. If you are driving or operating heavy machinery and just listening, then please just listen and stay focused on your task at hand. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy my ponderings. Let #PaulPonders begin.
Greetings, everyone. How is everyone doing today? I want to thank the sponsor of this episode, Scott Albertson, project142.org. If you have a chance, check out Scott Albertson. That's Scott with one T and Albertson, S-O-N, and look at project142.org. We want to thank Paul Ponders, #Paul Ponders wants to thank Scott for his continuous marketing efforts and really making things happen to spread the word for local businesses, nonprofits, and all. And speaking of nonprofits, today's guest is a very fascinating person who I have met through my connections through the #Paul Ponders PS and All Marketing Group world. And this episode is going to center around a 100-inning baseball game, a documentary. So I want to welcome Mr. Xander Abbott.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, Paul. Wow, couldn't be more wrong. Couldn't be more right about the water. Thank you.
You're right. We need to hydrate ourselves. Absolutely. So Xander, you have produced a documentary on the 100-inning baseball game to benefit ALS and the Angel Fund. So I'm going to let you take it from here and just let our listeners know about this incredible concept, this documentary, whatever. So take it away, Mr. Xander.
Yes. So I actually came into this this lovely game about 5-6 years ago. Now we've had about 21 total games at this point, all lasting 100 innings except for one with a rain out. The last few that I've participated in are located in Quincy, are usually during Columbus Day weekend. The largest important part of this game is it's all for charity. When this game was created, we had just invited / gotten Curt Schilling into Boston with the Red Sox. And from what the stories have been told, we were looking to raise funds for players to play baseball in the CABL, MABL, amateur baseball league that a lot of us 20-plus-year-old guys play in on Sundays. Now, this had kind of just been made into a fundraising idea and eventually turned into donating money to the Angel Fund year in, year out. We had brought in Curt Schilling's wife a few years back, and his kids had played in this game a few years back as well. Long story short, 5 years ago, me and my other friends, Steve Lippy and a few other guys who had played in this game several years at this point, kind of just decided that we wanted to make this more predominantly known. We wanted to share the fact that we are playing in this approximately 30-hour game and raising almost $1 million at this point. We're getting close on that point where we've right around there at this point. It's close to 800,000, I believe. Long story short, we got into this movie idea given the fact that we wanted more attention. We wanted more leagues to do this for whatever charity they decided. Along the way, we had brought in this great director, Alex Koppelman, who kind of just took the inspiration of, this is baseball. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's a messy game. This was his first year with the league. And as many baseball players know, don't park behind the backstop. He had wanted to have an impact on this game. And, his back windshield took the brunt of it, actually, at the end of the game, which was kind of funny as the first game for him. So it kind of came full circle.
What a fascinating concept and all, but I'm just trying to envision, I don't know about the pitch clock. Is there a pitch clock involved?
No.
How does this work?
We have umpires for about 2 inning allotted slots. Now, growing up in Milton, I know several of these umpires from the area, which is kind of interesting. So we have umpires rotating in and out, usually a 4-man crew. And a lot of these guys volunteer, actually. A lot of them like coming in at the sunrise hour, and a lot of us, as well as this is included in the documentary, a lot of us get to see baseball as the sun's going down. When the sun's coming up, it's in a sense of accomplishment. Third base, you can't see anything for about 3 straight hours. It's the 2 a.m. to about 5 to 6 a.m. stretch that really drags you down, which a lot of people would think it's a lot sooner. We get through 50 to 60 innings by midnight, and it does slow down. It does. We need a lot of pitching, a lot of catchers. I'm a catcher myself. I've been known to catch off and on 70 to 80 innings, give or take. I can't walk for about 3 weeks after that. But in pitching, it really breaks down to just throw strikes. Everyone is there to have fun. It's a non-competitive, it's fun beer league type game. Sandlot style. There's no assigned teams. You come in, you pay $75. That goes straight to the Angel Funds and ALS Research. And you can play as many innings as you'd like. A lot of guys come in for 20 innings the first day and come help us close it out the second. There are the Ironmen, though. I am very proud to say that we have several Ironmen and women who compete all 100 innings, which is, for us, staying in the batting order. Not all of us have to be in the field every single inning. I will admit that I've taken a 2-inning break for a coffee and not having to squat. I'll admit it. The long story short of it is throwing strikes. It's just getting through the game and knowing that you're doing it for a good cause. And I think that every single year we see Walter and Rat, as we call him, come out and give quite literally the same speech that next year we won't be using these canes, and next year we won't be using these crutches. And every year we believe them, and every year we see a difference in their demeanor, how well they're doing. I mean, I've run into Rat, and he runs a physical therapy office in Quincy, and I've seen him off and on getting on the train, talking to him, and you would just suspect he's an elderly getting up there man when he's still walking on his own. When I first met him, he was using crutches. Now he's walking on his own. It's a very interesting development in the research that we've been seeing over the past few years.
That's fascinating. And I believe when you mentioned Walt, you meant Walter Benson, right?
Yes, Walter Benson.
Yes, exactly. And is it, I've heard the name Rich Kennedy. Is he involved in this as well?
Yes. I'm not sure exactly where exactly he is, because I am still catching pace with some of my other work, and I'm not sure where exactly he lies. I believe he is part of the research funding, but I could be wrong.
Gotcha. There's an incredible YouTube presence, and before this podcast, I've been just watching the 1 hour and 28-minute documentary that you helped create with Alex Koppelman, and I am totally blown away with the fervor, the commitment of these baseball players. A few of the players I've met through the years. I saw Jay Hussey as part of it. Steve Lippy. Steve, I think, is going to be a future Paul Ponders guest. But tell us about Steve Lippy.
Steve Lippy is the closest thing to a brother that I've ever had. I met him when I was about 10 years old. And believe it or not, back then he was a teacher. Throughout the years, I've just stayed in contact with him. He's been my coach, my mentor, my brother, my best friend. And, well, we call them his business ideas in the group, where he kind of just has this dream, has this idea that he thinks is going to be the greatest thing, and he just makes it happen. So with the idea of the 100-inning game and the documentary around it, it was really his baby, and he brought me in on it, and that's how Alex Koppelman came in. He's all over the place where he has such creativity. He just won Player of the Month in one of his leagues as a 41 or 40-year-old guy at this point. And I think that 95% of my baseball knowledge is learned from Steve Lippy. It's very unique, very non-conservative knowledge of baseball, but it has gone me very far. He deserves all the credit where it's due.
That's great. Now, as far as sponsorships, is it set up where, I know you have the registration fee for $75, but is it set up where you have businesses sponsoring an inning or a block of innings?
No, not that I know of yet, and I'm certain I can get you in contact with the Angel Fund and Brett Rudy, who's the baseball guy. And in adult league baseball, you're going to hear the name Brett Rudy, and there's reasons why. He's been setting up all of these games. He sets up the Christmas charity game as well. And that's for Toys for Tots with the U.S. Marine Corps, which is actually a pretty fun little. It's usually about 9 innings of baseball we play about a week before Christmas.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. It really does.
Your hands hurt like hell.
Yeah. Are you hitting snowballs instead of baseballs?
No. You would wish.
There we go. Well, I think that maybe as an idea, and I will follow up with a phone call or reach out to the Angel Fund, the ALS people. But, sponsoring innings, we have our sponsor, past sponsors we've had involved, Project 142. We've had Riverworks Credit Union. We've had Pearl Street Station Restaurant. We've had Remax Renaissance. We've had our past sponsors, and maybe they would be interested in sponsoring a block of innings or 1 inning, however it may be. So I'm happy to, in fact, assist you through PS&L Marketing Group, through #Paul Ponders, and even Pod Pro Entertainment with Techie Talonzo behind the curtain, where, it's something that I believe that we could help raise some money for a great cause while you're doing the work. And, maybe if I am up to it, maybe I could get back. I used to play fast pitch softball, but, I could probably still hit a fastball or so and maybe play a little first base.
If we get you there early enough, I guarantee you can hit their first pitcher.
Okay.
We have several guys who throw about maybe 50 because we're not trying to blow out our arms.
Good. Excellent. Yep. That's perfect for me. Last time I was sitting against one of those machines, I was at Game On at Fenway, and I managed to hit 9 out of 10, which was great. And the machine was going right at about like 56, 58, and it was right in the comfort zone. It's something that, I want to get back into it, but we'll see. We'll see how I am.
It really is just a fun, unique experience. I think that seeing some of these guys on the field and, having a sip of beer in between innings, whatever it is, it's just kind of a unique experience because I have several guys there that I only see once or twice a year otherwise. And then at that game, we're just brothers. It really is the coolest, almost family reunion that I've ever had, so to speak.
Now, do you have a multiple 7th inning stretch? What about 12 times, 13 times?
So we basically rotate in where it's first come, first serve for most positions.
Okay.
Unless you're a catcher or a pitcher, you're kind of just in there with the guy. But then, like, you'll have a third baseman. I've had a third baseman who's 70 years old a couple of years in a row. And he'll come in for 2 or 3 innings. Then I'll have a spry, young, 22-year-old guy who, hasn't played in 2 years. You'll have all sorts of ages and varieties. And it really is the coolest thing to see, because you'll always have a Patriots game on Sunday that everyone's trying to rush back for. Playoff baseball's always going on in the background. It really is just it's almost like 30 to 100, depending on the time, men tailgating on a baseball field while throwing around a baseball.
Wow.
It's great.
It's a nice thought and a nice process. And this is in Quincy. Is that Adams Field?
Adams Field in Quincy, yeah. I played there, I don't know how many times growing up. And they had just redone it for the Babe Ruth World Series a few years back, and I've been blessed to play on it ever since. And it is a beautiful diamond that I love. It has been home for a while.
Wow. Now, are they charging admission at the gate?
No, there's no admission for any viewers. They do have T-shirts and certain other ALS such merchandise available, but we just don't see the point in charging admission when it's 24 hours, almost 24 hours plus 32, somewhere in that range. And there's residents of Quincy a couple blocks down, so it is very difficult to have a fanfare environment, so to speak. We don't have much announcing going on. We do have a police presence up in the corner, which is great, as it is right down the street from Wollaston Station. And I don't think we've had any issues besides a few broken windshields from baseballs.
Wow. It's sort of like the ball being hit over the green once and landing on the Mass Pike, right? And hitting a car there.
So to speak, but it's foul ball and it happens, and then everyone has to go check their car. But yeah, so to speak.
Wow. That's great. One final thing, does someone sing, do you have anyone, any famous personalities sing the national anthem?
So we do have someone usually sing the national anthem. I believe a couple years ago we had a local person who went on to Not America's Got Talent. Last year we had someone who did at their middle school or high school graduation, and then they sang it for us. Very beautiful. One of the players' daughters, I believe. That was a beautiful rendition. But normally it's just a run-of-the-mill recording or someone local singing it.
That's great. That's great. Now, for this, as we start to wind down, we have a video, but this is an audio feed and all, but I cannot help but notice you're a Boston person, but you got a KC Royals hat on. What's that all about?
So a little bit about me. When I moved out to Kansas City for 4 years, and I worked for the Royals for a little bit and played some summer college baseball out there. I have some experience within the Royals organization in the game planning and organizational area. Basically, here's what they're going to throw to us. Just very simple, generic baseball knowledge. This hat was so to speak, my hat. And I just have a few inspirational quotes in it that I always like to have around with me. So whenever I'm doing something I feel is meaningful, especially the 100-inning game or such, I try to wear this hat just as that little extra reminder of where I came from.
That's great. That's great. So you must have encountered greats like, say, George Brett and a few other Kansas City Royals.
I cross paths with George Brett and his son every so often. Freddie Pawtek actually was my bench coach / third base coach for a couple years there, and that's how I kind of got in on working with the Royals, actually. So I was very blessed getting that opportunity.
That's great. And also, too, I think you're kind of busy at the taping at the time we're recording this episode, we're kind of in the middle of the College World Series.
Yes,
So you must be kind of busy right now.
So I am very busy opening up my my business. It's about a year in the making, freelance with the College Baseball World Series. I think we have 5 more teams in there right now that I'm currently representing. I actually had to leave out to Omaha, Nebraska very, very suddenly last Friday just to work with Florida State for the past weekend, which was last minute, but it was a great trip. And I'm very blessed to have my coworkers and support system and staff in place where I can kind of be a little bit more aggressive or spontaneous with my business decisions. As a lot of baseball guys know, with me especially, baseball is a chess game. It's hitting a round ball with a round bat. There's going to be a lot of adjustments to be made. And I think that has become more and more obvious in the business side of things for me, pertaining to having a customer service side of my business and making sure that my clients are happy. But at the end of the day, it's if you're performing well, you're performing well. If you're not, you're not. I'm happy to say I'm still here and still profiting from this company that I started.
That is super, super. Well, what I'm envisioning is and pondering that we're going to have you back for another episode to hear more about this business and the rest of all the good things you're doing in the business and baseball world.
Yes, please. I would love to put more information out about the 100-inning game, a little bit more about myself as well. I'm always looking to coach and put my name out there as best as I can.
That's fabulous.
Special thanks to you guys and Steve Lippy and all the others who have been there throughout this adventure.
Absolutely. So, Xander, as we wind down, how do we find out more about the 100-inning baseball game?
So we're currently partnered with the Angel Fund, and I will send the link to you about the 2024 100-inning game with the link to the 100th inning on Amazon Prime. So you guys can go take a look at the video, and if you guys want to come out and play a few innings, we're always more than welcome to have a few more guys out there. We're always looking for it.
That's great. And the date of this is
I believe
Columbus Day weekend?
Yeah, usually it's Columbus Day weekend. I believe it is October 12th, but I will be making sure to get you the link, which will have the exact information on it.
That's fabulous. Well, Xander, I thank you so much for your time and all the great things you're doing to benefit ALS and the Angel Fund. And this is really just a great thing. And for our listeners out there, if you want to check out on YouTube, just type in the 100-inning sport documentary, the full movie, and you'll be totally wowed by the way that this whole documentary was put together. It's absolutely fascinating. And it really does show the commitment that people make for a cause and for 100 innings. Wow. So,
I mean, as I said, a lot of these are brothers and sisters. I could list off 30 names and wouldn't be thanking enough people. We got an army of people behind us really working to make sure that everything's taken care of for this game. It really is an amazing accomplishment that I'm proud to be a part of.
wow. This will be the 21st year, I guess,
Yep.
right?
And I'm really happy to say that this is far more than a singular person. It's definitely a very large group effort. I can't stress that enough.
And shout out to Brett Rudy for being the founder or co-founder of this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I know. I remember a baseball player, Joe Rudy, played for Oakland, and I remember Joe Rudy, and I don't know if it's the same spelling. I don't know, but Brett Rudy, congratulations for doing a great job in getting the ball rolling, literally.
He really does deserve a ton of the credit year in, year out. I know that some years he has just not wanted to continue, and every year he just makes it happen. I mean, it's an amazing thing that he's doing, and kind of just keeping the ball rolling. I would love to see what the next steps are. I can't wait.
Well, that is awesome. Xander, I thank you again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Keep up the great work.
All right.
#Indeed. I trust that you have enjoyed Paul Ponders. Again, my name is Paul Solano of PS&All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com to do some more pondering. Many thanks to my longtime collaborative friend and associate, Chalonzo Amos of Pod Pro Entertainment, in bringing you our fun, exciting, informative podcasts. You rock, Techie Chalonzo. With PS&All Marketing Group, I created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com with any questions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Paul Ponders. Follow us on Twitter at Paul Ponders Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Paul Ponders Podcast. Thank you again for listening to Paul Ponders, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, paulponders.com, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment, Paul Ponders lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. The new radio. Until we meet again, my friend, stay well. Indeed.